Head overseas, where Russia passed a controversial bill this week that would allow President Vladimir Putin to stay in power for another 12 years after his current term ends in 2024. The Russian Duma, you see there, right there, equivalent to a parliament, overwhelmingly passed the amendments to the Constitution, giving the former KGB officer unprecedented presidential powers for the foreseeable future. Critics of Putin called the move dictatorial and are urging Russians to protest next week. A nationwide vote on the amendments is scheduled for April. Joining me for some perspective on this is Sergei Rakuba, president of Mission Eurasia. His group works in Russia and the countries of the former Soviet Union. Sergei, thank you so much for coming on the show. Why is this move dangerous for the future of Russia?
George, it's great to be on your show, and thank you so much for reaching out to me. And this is a very, very concerning time that Russia is going these days. So how dangerous is this for Russia? Russian people don't see the danger. And overwhelmingly, they will be approving through the referendum and public vote, so that they will be supporting Putin to stay in power for another possibly 16 years. So through 2036, when Putin will be 83, then he possibly then will be considering if he will be retiring or not. But this is changes, lots of political, economical, and social establishment in Russia today. Russia is longing for people of Russia are longing for a long-term stability, and they believe in their generally more imperialistic mindset, so that Russia can be saved as long in history the Russian czars, then Soviet communist dictators. So the strong leader can bring that stability. Yeah. And that's why they are supporting and will be supporting this bill. So they believe that the super leader for superpower that they are so proud of will bring that stability, long-term stability for their country.
Yeah. Real quickly, Sergei, what are Putin's long-term ambitions?
He is running, on all of this. He says that people want him to stay in power for longer. So now that the State Duma, the representatives of regional parliaments, they will be voting, they will be supporting this bill. But overall, Putin promises stability. He promises a better economy. He promises better life for Russians, and Russian people, unfortunately, they can forget everything. They are very forgiving. They can forgive, the religious persecution. They can forgive the war in Ukraine or war in Syria. They can forgive, Crimean occupation or territories of Georgia. So they can forgive the political prisoners that are in prison for their political or opposition views or for religious reasons. Yeah. Are in Russian prisons today.
Sergei, real quickly, last few seconds, what impact will this have on religious freedom in Russia and the preaching of the gospel? Real quickly, we only have about 30 seconds.
Unfortunately, the evangelical church in Russia will need to learn in this new trends. So they will bring more limitations. The seminary has been closed in the last few years. The Bible schools, the leadership training programs for the evangelical church, they will need to learn how to survive, how to operate, and how to serve in this limited religious freedom circumstances in Russia.
Okay, terrific. Sergei, we will have to leave it right there. Sergei Rakuba, president of the great organization Mission Eurasia, doing great work in Russia and the former Soviet Union. Thank you so much for coming on the show.